All right, everybody, I am Andrew Badella. That is Jordan. We are live for No Dirt, Just Dialogue. Juice is off today. His birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Juice. Wishing you all the best. Jordan, it is a Royal Rumble weekend. We just got off an exciting episode of Dynamite, in my opinion. We saw a debut. We saw a shocking victory, again, in my opinion. It is January 29th, I believe, where you are. Maybe you're in the future watching this. Who knows? Maybe you're a day ahead, a day behind. I doubt it. We're happy you're here with us. We're going to discuss the Royal Rumble. We're going to predict some things. We're going to answer your questions. Jordan's going to touch on all the hot button topics. And I'm sure you guys have some questions maybe about some burners or the stadium that went up very quickly. Whatever you want to ask, we will answer. Jordan, it's good to see you, man. How the hell are you?
Man, I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I mean, it is another day. I am happy to be here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our other cohort, Juice, is not here with us today. Wishing him a happy birthday. But no, I'm excited to be here. Another podcast day. Very excited. It's going to be a good one. A lot to talk about this week.
Yes,
big
sir.
weekend coming up for one particular company. A lot happened last night. From an injury to a debut. So a lot going on this week.
There is. I've got the question a bunch about a couple different things. One being, will the women be able to wear whatever they want for the Royal Rumble? Will they be in their normal gear because it's in Saudi Arabia? And I could just answer this real quick before we get flooded. The answer is no. They are going to be wearing what is appropriate in that country and what you have seen more recently when the women are in Saudi Arabia for events. So I just want to make that clear before we get a bunch of questions on that. The women will have to be in what is approved and appropriate in the country of Saudi Arabia. So what you've seen before with the women in Saudi. Jordan, where do you want to go, my man? The floor is yours.
We put it out there last night because we talked about it last week. Rarely wrong, often early, but Tommaso Ciampa is all elite. I kind of want to open with that. What do you think? Do you think the debut was pulled off well? It seems like he's going to be placed in ROH, walking out kind of challenging or stepping up to Mark Briscoe immediately. A lot of people may seem a little confused on how he was able to show up so quickly. So I figured I'd like you to see what you think.
I have a question. Why do you think he's going to be in ROH?
One, he went out and challenged straight up for the ROH Heavyweight Championship with Mark Briscoe. Like it looks like that's where he's going to go, he's challenging for that title. And I think ROH kind of just fits him in his schedule right now at this point of his career. If you know anything about Ciampa, he's been wrestling for a very long time. He's been in ROH before. He's got history in ROH, so it kind of just makes sense that he comes back home.
Jordan, I know there's a ton of championships, but Mark Briscoe is not the Ring of Honor World Champion. He is the TNT champion. Briscoe.
TNT, excuse me.
Yes, yeah. Bandito is your ROH World Championship. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Mark Briscoe and Tommaso Ciampa won't be in Ring of Honor because I could see it. I could absolutely see it. I could see Ciampa wrestling in Ring of Honor, but I will say this. The Ciampa signing is a right one for AEW and Tony Khan. For all the guys and girls that they have on their roster, this is a guy that I believe fits AEW like a glove. Why I say that is because Tommaso Ciampa is a wrestler's wrestler, if you want to call him that. I believe that Samoa Joe is someone who is a perfect example of who had a good run in WWE, had a better run in NXT, but had a good run in WWE. Ciampa's the same thing. Ciampa is a very, very good, sound, technical wrestler, and I think he's a great heel. And I think this will work for AEW. Again, there's a lot of talent moving here, there, and everywhere, but I like the signing of Tommaso to AEW. I wish there were some other talents that AEW would maybe let go do whatever they want to do in terms of if they want out of their contract or they want to go work elsewhere, go ahead. Because there's only so many minutes that are available or allotted to talent. Tommaso, Andrade, I like what they're doing with them, and I think they fit AEW like a glove. Now, I say that to say time will tell. Because if Tommaso comes in, Ciampa comes in, and he's used for 3 months and then falls by the wayside, then we got an issue. Like we got to give these guys and girls proper creative and make sure that they are mainstays on our television, whether it's in a mid-card title or the main event scene. I don't care what you do, but I think Tommaso Ciampa could be an excellent heel here in AEW.
I think while you want people to be showcased and especially your new signees, I think it comes with a little bit of give and take. Not everybody can be showcased all the time, and not all the time everybody can be showcased. If Ciampa comes in, gives me 3 solid months of a program, and I don't see him again for another month or 2, I think that's okay. I think he comes in because everybody plays a role. Not everybody's LeBron. Not everybody's Michael Jordan, right? Somebody needs to be Tony Kukoc. Somebody needs to be.
Wow. You're throwing the 96, 97, 98 Bulls at us? I love it.
Saying, somebody, because I say Kukoc in particular because he won a game for them. You know what I'm saying? He played his role all season. Comes up and he wins.
Everyone talks about Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman, Horace Grant, Tony Kukoc. There's a litany of players under those 3 names that really did a lot for the Chicago Bulls.
And I think AEW, when it comes to this, because they have this idea of a bloated roster, and some people are going to just be role players. And so I say that when we're bringing in Ciampa, don't expect him to be a world beater. Don't expect him to claim for a championship or anything like that. But I expect him to play his role and do it very well.
Let me ask you. I'll ask you this question. Saturday, we have Collision, and we have Tommaso Ciampa fighting for the TNT title against one Mark Briscoe.
I'll be there.
All right, you'll be there. I don't know if you can have Tommaso lose this match. I think Mark Briscoe's got to drop the TNT championship because there's a lot of, you're going to debut somebody and they're just going to take an L. Now, it's professional wrestling. They could do it in a way which somebody interferes or costs Tommaso, and then they could have a feud there. But that's kind of the lame duck finish here, in my opinion. I like Mark Briscoe as the TNT champion. He's had a custom championship since about November. He's been their champion. And we're going to talk about something else that that's been missing since September, but I don't hate him as the TNT champion. He's done a very good job, but I do think it's time that, when you debut somebody and they get put in these championship title matches, that they win it, especially somebody like Tommaso Ciampa. If you really want them to invest in this character and them being the fans, I don't know how you have him lose this. Without somebody being like, man, they did a DQ or here we go again. Like, he's been champion for 60 some odd days, he being Mark Briscoe. I would like to see Tommaso win the championship on Saturday.
As much as I would love to see it, and you would get people behind Tommaso Ciampa immediately, right? For those who are familiar with him, it'd be a great moment. For those who aren't, it'd be a moment to get into him. My only issue would be Mark Briscoe's had how many defenses? How many?
That I don't know.
I want to say, 2, 3 defenses?
At least 3 or 4 in my thought process.
Now, I don't know if that's good for your TV champion or not. Right? I don't know if that you want your, because he's your TV champion. Should your TV champion be defending their title often, or?
Yeah, you're close enough to my age where you remember the Monday Night Wars, and WCW had a television champion, and ECW had a television champion, and it was the secondary title. It was almost a third in WCW because they had the US championship. So, and that was your secondary championship. I agree with you. I think if you're going to have a TV quote unquote champion, that person should defend it on a bi-weekly basis. I think that just adds to the intrigue of the championship. Again, we'll talk about why I think Collision should go to Sunday night here a little bit later, but he's had 4 defenses, says Graps, in 60 days. So that's a little on the light side. Thank you, Graps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to get to another comment here too. Hannibal says 40, Champion is 40. He's 3 years younger than me. Yeah, a lot of people were making the whole thing like, oh, we traded Ciampa for Hobbs. They're both the same age or relatively close. Maybe one is like a year or two older than the other. So, and then we got another one here that says, how can you guys praise AEW when you see them bringing in, I'm going to add the correct vernacular here, in Ciampa, however, holding people back like Jericho, Britt, Anna Jay, Danhausen, Private Party. Jericho's not being held back.
Yeah.
Britt doesn't want to do anything on AEW right now. Anna Jay, I'm not going to speak on. And Danhausen has been pretty much locked out because of his relationship with CM Punk. And realistically, he's getting paid. So listen, there's 2 guys that I desperately believe should be on television right now who are getting paid a lot of money, and they're not on TV. And that's Copeland and Christian. We'll get to that. I'm only praising this because I think it's a smart sign for AEW. I truly believe AEW should cut bait with some of their talent on their roster because A, they're not on television, and B, they're not doing anything. This is not like a giant needle mover. It's not. But what it is, it's a perfect character, and it's the perfect athlete in terms of a wrestler. He's not just a character. He's a really good athlete and a really good wrestler / performer, that this fits AEW because AEW is where your wrestler go. That's where they go to work.
My thing is this. I want to, because people try to use that as a get or not.
Hobbs is not 34. AEW. Jordan, I'm going to let you finish. Hobbs is not 34. This narrative needs to stop. Hobbs is in his 40s. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. He black don't crack, y'all. Sorry, I don't know what to tell y'all. But no, this idea that AEW holds back, this or that talent, when there's and I hate to be the whataboutism guy, but there's a laundry list of people who we don't see on regular television that we probably should in another company. So to pull out a name like Private Party, who was let out of their contract, is just you're just trying to catch somebody in a gotcha moment, talking about Britt Baker or Jericho when it's very clear and evident what's going on with their contracts and their decisions. Again, just trying to catch somebody in a gotcha moment. So again, bringing in Ciampa is a net positive. For one, he wants to be there. This is the type of talent that you want, a guy who's going to willingly say, no, I don't want to renew here. I want to go test the waters there. That's the type of talent. That's the type of employee that you want. So for AEW, the signing of Tommaso Ciampa and being able to put him in a program like this immediately because he's such a good wrestler is a net positive.
Yeah. I'm getting word that my producer is go ahead. My bad, he's 35. No, he's not. No, he's not. Again, Wikipedia does not have the right age of everybody. And I will tell you, Hobbs did not just turn 35. That's not accurate. Boys and girls, go watch a sit down that Hobbs did with Chris Van Vliet. He tells you how old he is, and he's in his 40s. I believe and again, I could be a year off. I believe he's 41. So again, it doesn't matter. Hobbs is going somewhere new with that character. I'm sure he'll thrive, but let's stop pretending that Hobbs is a certain age and sticking to it. The internet does not have all the answers you seek. You have to do your own research, and Hobbs is not in his 30s. All right?
No, again, black don't crack, y'all, and he takes great care of himself. So,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, Tommaso, I wish him the best. I think it's a good signing for AEW. And again, they could easily move away from some other talent if they choose to do so. I don't know how much Tommaso Ciampa's making. God bless him for making whatever he's going to make. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Tommaso is a net positive right now because I'm going to let that play out, but I like where your head's at. I think it's a good get for AEW. Right. I really do. Now let's utilize him the right way, and I think they will. I think they
from one signing to another,
yes,
bit of a on the unfortunate side, What do you think about the Jake Doyle and that the reports are he tore his bicep last night?
Yeah, that's definitely unfortunate. Definitely unfortunate. I wish him the best. I was really getting into everything that they were starting to do, but it's an unfortunate circumstance. We almost saw the same thing with Rey Mysterio. I don't know if that's an angle or what they're doing, but if so, I mean, they didn't attack Rey on Monday Night Raw. The referee threw up the X sign. Everything's a work until it's not. So for me, seeing any injury, Jordan, sucks, and I don't want anybody's career to be derailed because of it. But it's an unfortunate aspect of not only this industry, but combat sports and sports in general. So.
Yeah, especially because it seems like people were really getting behind Davis and Doyle.
Yeah.
Uh,
I do want to. I'm glad you brought this up. People getting behind Davis and Doyle. Were you
yeah.
one of the few, or maybe it was the many, who thought that they should have won the tag team championships?
So yes,
Okay.
I was in a space the other night. Shout out the Wrestle Collective, and
We have somebody from the collective joining us soon.
yeah, I said that I think that they should have won or could have won. Obviously, plans change because I think the eventual CNC feud with FTR that we're going to get doesn't need the titles. It doesn't. It's if anything, it's stifled the tag division as of right now, where we're not really getting a lot of the matchups that we want or wish we could see. We haven't
That
seen.
You agree with. I agree totally.
Yeah, FTR, kind of working. Let's just be honest, a part-time schedule.
I don't know if that's FTR's fault, because my problem is with CNC, which we'll get to, and it's not really my problem because I'm not signing their checks. But I had an issue with the whole Davis and Doyle thing, because although I believe they're a great tag team, Jordan, and I think that they bring a lot to AEW, I feel as if they switched the tag titles, they would have just done it for an internet moment, which we've seen before, and an IWC reaction, just to give them back to FTR, because we all know where they're headed. We all know where, and it's not a bad thing we know where they're headed with the tag titles and the feud and everything else like that, because it needs to happen. This is why you put Copeland and Christian on the same roster. They feuded with each other, and now they're going to go after the tag titles to end their career in AEW, which is fine, at least Copeland's, which is fine. But you take the tag titles off them just to hot potato it, to give the internet a moment, or to, pop the few that wanted this. I don't like it. I don't like it.
But I would have put the titles on them not for a moment, but to progress the division as a whole. To let the audience and kind of the rest of the roster know, like, okay, hey, things are changing. We're moving forward. Because again, this FTR CNC feud, I said it last night. I don't think it needs the tag titles. Would a tag run for Edge and Christian, or Cope and Christian, to reunite, would it be cool? Yeah. Seeing that visual with them with the AEW tag titles, it would be cool. Yeah. It's not needed though. It does, I think people will still feel the same about them regardless. People don't need to see Cope and Christian with the titles. They would like it, but it's not something that absolutely has to happen.
Well, I mean, I think you're paying these guys a lot of money, right? And I think at this point, I mean, that's what we've been told. I mean, Christian and Copeland have both talked about how they're receiving handsome contracts in AEW, and rightfully so. So I think at this point, you're already there. You brought them apart together on the same roster for this reason. Copeland has not held the world championship, which is a shock to me, but whatever, good on him. Or maybe it was a Tony and the booking decision. Fine. Christian held the TNT championship, and they got a lot out of Christian. Christian totally revitalized himself and his character in AEW, in my opinion, when he was basically left for dead after the Royal Rumble with WWE, and his character-wise. I think it's something you need to do. I would love to see a ladders match in London at Wembley Stadium with the Bucks, CNC, and FTR. A triangle ladder match works for me. And because at this point, that's pretty much all you got left. I mean, do we need a Cope singles run? Do you need a Christian singles run? You already got them.
Yeah, we already had them.
I mean, at this point, you got it. You need to see the match. That's just my opinion.
The thing is, I don't know when the match is going to happen. Like, do you pull it?
I desperately think Tony and Copeland want to have that match, or at least have Copeland on that Wembley Stadium show, because I know that Copeland was upset that he missed the Wembley Stadium show 2 years ago.
Well, I was going to say, do you, for the CNC, do you, for one, do you have multiple matches? Do you have them trade wins and losses? And do you not give Australia a little something if you can next month?
All right, well, we're on this topic, so let's talk about it. The whole CNC thing is strange to me. They haven't been seen since September, and I know Copeland has had movie commitments and filming commitments or television show commitments, and that's fine. I get that. Took his time off, whatever. But it's been since September since we have last seen not only Copeland, but Christian and Beth. Very strange, okay? They might be holding this off so that they can get this run to where there's no doubt that Copeland and Christian are both on that Wembley Stadium show at All In. I get it. But at this point, I really think you could have gotten 6 to 9 months of programming with Copeland and Christian, with FTR, with the Bucks, and throw a couple other tag teams in there here and there. Even Brodito would have been cool to see CNC take on Brodito. That would have been, and I'm not ruling that out. I'm just saying at that point, Brodito had a lot of momentum, a lot of steam. And I would have liked to have seen them go into a bigger program, in my opinion, a longer feud. And they just didn't. So I'm a little taken aback by why we haven't seen Copeland and Christian. If they're waiting for Revolution, great. But Adam Copeland has made no bones about it that he believes this is his last contract in professional wrestling. I'll believe it when I see it. But I'm just saying, I believe that once Copeland's done here in October or November in AEW, I don't believe he's coming back to AEW, because I don't think he has anything left to accomplish here in AEW. So for me, you're starting to run out of time. I mean, if we're not debuting or re-debuting them or bringing them back in March, I mean, you got what, 6 months? You better hurry up.
Hold on really quick. I want to acknowledge something from the comments really quick.
Sure.
Because I'm seeing
don't feed the trolls. That's all I'll say. Go ahead.
Yeah, not feeding the trolls, but to say AEW doesn't have any successful talent, but then turn around and praise Royce Keys, formerly known as Will Hobbs, the irony has truly been lost upon you, sir.
You know, and I saw some big name podcasters who are very negative on All Elite Wrestling. And I'll just say it. One is JD. I was shocked that JD didn't talk about, or tweet, I should say, about Tommaso Ciampa debuting in AEW, because I know how much of a fan he was and is of Tommaso Ciampa and his NXT Black and Gold run, and even his run in WWE. So when you're crapping all over the stuff that was on All Elite Wrestling Dynamite last night, which you're entitled to your opinion, that's fine, and I understand it. But then you won't put out a tweet about a debut of a star that you know has been underutilized in WWE and probably will have success, and that character will transition well into AEW. It comes off as disingenuous, in my opinion. Very, very disingenuous. And he's a friend of mine. It's just that's where it bothers me. Like, you could have said, great entrance music, cool debut, we'll see where they go. But to remain silent seems strange to me, especially when you're dogging on everything else. Go ahead.
No, it's, you know, there's a lot of odd silence, yeah, for sure. But no, I just have to just point out this really quick, because I don't know, it's just really weird that, you know, but don't feed the trolls. I do want to, before we do talk some more Rumble, because we are going to be looking forward and talking about the Rumble that's going on. There is somebody who's going to be on Saturday night's show who's kind of making a little bit of news this morning. I think it's a nothing burger, but let's talk about it. AJ Styles seemed to have made a couple of trademarks today or recently.
Okay, that's fine. I was like, whoa, AJ Styles is a nothing burger boy. Jordan has gone full heel. Go ahead.
No. Because there is, so I'll just go ahead and tell you from the fan, you know, on the ground level what the fans are thinking. That this him filing for these copyrights and trademarks are that he may show up somewhere else, that because they're taking the word of oh, he said his WWE career is done, in that in such like things like that. So there's a small speculation that he'll show up in AEW or just elsewhere. I want to throw it up to you. What do you think? Did you see the trademark filings? What do you think about that? I think, like I said, I think it's a nothing burger. I think it's to help I don't want to say, I guess for lack of better words, to monetize his after wrestling career, so therefore he owns what he owns.
Well, I think you'd want to, I think a lot of this has to do with a lot more just outside of the professional wrestling bubble. Because I think a lot of people only live inside of that, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, that's because he's going to jump ship. Well, no, he wants to use that name at conventions. He probably wants to use that name when he makes appearances. Maybe he wants to do something outside of the scope, and maybe he wants to do video games or on a streaming platform like Twitch or whatever he may decide to do, so that he could still generate revenue, which you should always want to do. And his brand recognition with the name and the nickname AJ Styles and the phenomenal one, it's synonymous. So you don't want to have to go back and be like the great Allen. You don't want that. Okay. So him getting that trademark and those things are very much a part of who he is. And it should be something he wants and needs. And I'm glad he got them. Is there a possibility he ends up in AEW? Sure. Am I counting on it? No. Do I think it's higher that he will wrestle in TNA in 2026 than I think it's higher that he wrestles in AEW? Yes, I think he wrestles in TNA in 2026. The options will always be open for AJ Styles for AEW, because I'm sure another guy that fits very, very well in everything that they do is AJ Styles. Do I see it? No, not right now. Anything's possible. Anything can and will happen in All Elite Wrestling and in the World Wrestling Federation. But at this point, I'm going to think AJ goes out the way he wants to go out, wrestles in TNA as well, and then we'll see. But on that topic of people like staying and fans only staying inside this wrestling circle or bubble, I saw a lot of people upset about Brock Lesnar and other people declaring for the Royal Rumble on Pat McAfee's show. And why is WWE using the Pat McAfee show? Like, this should be on television. Do you know how ridiculous you guys and girls sound about this? Pat McAfee's show does insane numbers. And it's also, I don't know, on ESPN, the platform here in the States that is providing the PLE, the Royal Rumble. So it's brilliant. And what is Brock going to do? He's going to show up on Raw and just be like, yo, I'm in the Rumble. All right, thanks, Brock. You take care, bro. See you later. Nah, it was very nonchalant, and he did it on Pat's show. And there's millions of people watching Pat McAfee's show. A lot of non-wrestling fans that they want to get to tune in. So I don't know. It's insane. It's insane.
It's to me, people forget the entertainment part of sports entertainment. They forget that WWE doesn't have the mantra of we're the best wrestler. Not to say that they don't have good wrestlers, but that's not their mantra. So that's not how they market. That's not how they grow. They grow through the form of entertainment. They pulled the late night thing. When a movie star has a movie coming out, they put them on late night TV circuits and have them talk about the movie. Yeah, that's why you see Seth Rollins on was it Rich Eisen talking about the Rumble. That's why you have Brock on Pat McAfee declaring for the Rumble. It's because they're doing the entertainment route. That's what you do. You try to hit people, the fans that don't typically watch your product or aren't knowing your product.
Yeah. So I mean, am I a huge fan of the Costco guys? No, but they were on the Tonight Show, and they were on I believe it was Jimmy Kimmel, and they had AEW t-shirts on. Name another AEW star that was on the Tonight Show or that was on Jimmy Kimmel. You can't. And that's because like those guys have that crossover appeal, and it was smart for AEW to utilize them. Do I have issue with some of the things that they did not in ring? Yeah, I do. But I mean, that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I see the money in it and I see the business sense in it. You got to get out of the wrestling bubble and you got to think outside the box, because if you don't, you'll be trapped inside that box. And I'm going to give this advice for all men. Don't get trapped in a box. All right.
Go. More that's a double entendre if you can pick up what he's dropping.
Yes.
But no, so this, but the AJ Styles thing, the trademarks, I just think it's a big nothing burger. I mean, I think he's just setting himself up for what life will be outside of wrestling. And when you go to signings and, when he does his next podcast,
sure,
he's going to want to own or have some sort of ownership of his work. And so I think it's a nothing burger. But like you said, considering, he's got friends in, high places, I would give it at a 0.00001 chance that he shows up in AEW versus I think it's a 10% chance he shows up in TNA. I think because again, there's a reason why he said his WWE career is over.
Yes. We've been clipped a lot, which is great because some of the things we've said have come to fruition and everything else like that. I can tell you that I truly believe that AJ Styles will wrestle in TNA in 2026.
That's another one. We'll see. That'll hit the group chat. Hey, I need that clip. Alrighty, I'll get it. That'll be another one. I do see it happening because again, there's a reason why you had him do the passing of the torch on Leon Slater. There's a reason why Mike Santana came out and said what he said about AJ Styles, and why Mike Santana is the champion. So again, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Again,
I would not be surprised if he wrestles for TNA.
The AJ Styles stuff for me is to retain his intellectual property. And he walks down the street and nobody knows him besides his family members or his neighbors as whatever his government name would be. They know him as AJ Styles. So again, it's for his intellectual property that he can market, promote, and use. He could sell, the P1 t-shirts, gloves, hats, whatever. So there you go. Somebody has a question I've been told. Why am I so anti-Britt Baker? I'm not anti-Britt Baker. I love Britt. I wish Britt the best many, many, many months ago. And people called me nuts. They said, what are you wishing her the best? Because I said you won't see her in AEW again. And oh no, come on, man. Like, give me a break. She'll be, and she hasn't been. And I wish Britt the best because she deserves it. Where that is, I don't know.
I love when Britt comes up because people now all of a sudden, I'm just going to call it for what it is. This is a guy who probably never typed in the words Britt Baker until probably today. So it's virtue signaling. It's a gotcha moment because, when she was on TV, people were begging her to be off TV. And now, so I'm really not trying to hear it as far as a fan is concerned. Now, contractually, creatively, that's a different kind of conversation of what you can or cannot do with her and what she's willing to do and what she's not willing to do. But to bring her up as a gotcha moment, again, you probably weren't checking for her beforehand. Why all of a sudden you checking for her now? It's just another try to, got, AEW bad.
Yeah. I will tell you that I think, getting off of the Britt Baker stuff, people are asking like, why is Brock in the Rumble and all this other stuff in terms of like that, like it's a waste of a spot. It's not. I think Brock has a moment in the Rumble with somebody, probably Obafemi, and I think that's a launching pad. Just like, Brock had a big moment with I believe it was Keith Lee many, many years ago. And that was kind of like the launching pad for Keith, and it just didn't work. I mean, it happens, but I'm telling you, I do believe that, Oba and Brock, that moment in Saudi on Saturday might be something to keep an eye on. We'll have to wait and see. What else you got?
Well, before we get into the Rumble, as a whole, I do want to know, what did you think about Raw's Go Home show? Did you watch it? What did you think? How did you feel?
I thought Raw's Go Home show was a good one. Again, the main event was kind of twofold. So the main event with Styles and Punk for the World Championship, I thought was a good match. The Finn Balor interference at the moment left me feeling like, okay, there's a possibility that maybe AJ is not retiring on Saturday. But then I thought about it for a quick second, and AJ lost to John. Okay. AJ beat Shinsuke, and you're going to have AJ's biggest match, career threatening match, which we saw with Rick, and he's going to lose the match before the match that is career threatening. And I thought to myself, can't have it. So the disqualification has changed my opinion in terms of thinking more logically, where it's like they don't want to have Styles walk into the Rumble limping, right?
So my thing was just don't do the match. You know,
I think AJ wanted to have a match on Raw before he left.
A title match specifically?
I think a match with Punk. I think a match with Punk. Yeah. I mean, if you really go back and look at this, this was kind of thrown in our faces and it was right there and we just never paid attention to it. I don't have the data directly in front of me, but I can tell you that AJ wrestled John Nakamura. He's going to wrestle Gunther, and now he wrestled Punk in a matter of like 7 months. Like that's just nuts. Not to mention, I want to say that he, the tag team stuff with Dragon Lee, like again, there's a lot of things that AJ did throughout the year in 2025 that, I mean, it was right in front of us. He kind of crossed off his bucket list here. And I think he took on Logan Paul and some other match. Like he's wrestled everybody. He's done everything he possibly could. And he played the Shinsuke Nakamura hit. And I would like to see him retire in Vegas at WrestleMania and not Saudi Arabia at the Royal Rumble. But it's not my call.
But then that's where, like, I feel like we're kind of painting ourselves into a corner here because we have now kind of crowned through interviews. This isn't just because Gunther is leaning into this as well, which is another. I just want to point out again, rarely wrong, often early. Andrew, you predicted this role for Gunther about a month ago. About a month ago, you predicted that he would be. And now he himself, through interviews, is leaning into this idea that, I end careers.
Yeah.
So he's going to lose on his second attempt to end the career, or third attempt, I guess.
Well, and that's the other brilliant, Jordan, because that's the other thing here, too. You have so much equity built into Gunther. He just retired John Cena. How are you getting out of this match on Saturday with not only keeping Gunther strong, but also keeping Styles strong? You can't. A disqualification, okay. But at the end of the day, like, AJ has to be the one who's victorious in that disqualification because otherwise he would lose his career. So again,
are there any Raws in Georgia coming up?
I don't know. That I don't know, but I can tell you that Saturday's pretty cut and dry to me until it's not. And I hope I'm swerved or whatever, and I hope things change. But there's so much built into Gunther that I don't know if you could pull this off and not have a finish at the Rumble and then drag this to Mania. You got to be careful because if you do decide to have Styles go over clean, which would be the shock of all shocks, I do believe that Gunther's equity plummets.
Oh my God, he's no longer the career ender, if you ask me, because then it's going to be this idea of now you can't beat the old guy. You just beat some old guys, but now you can't beat the old guy.
Yeah, and the thing with Gunther is, I mean, they trademarked the career killer thing, and they're gonna have Gunther beat Goldberg, Cena, Styles, Lesnar. I mean, you gotta
probably Jericho.
You gotta fulfill all these things. So if it happens at Mania, so be it. But I don't know how we get here. I don't know how you get out of this stipulation of a career-threatening match where Gunther loses.
I can't see a world where AJ Styles, one of the very first quote-unquote indie darlings of wrestling, one of the greatest. Personally, if you ask me, he is a top 5 in-ring wrestler of all time. All time.
Sure.
And you're going to have him retire outside of America.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fathom that. That's a really tough one to wrap my brain around, that you're going to have this guy retire outside of America. Now, maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe he wanted the giant crowd and, the atmosphere, because I will say this Saturday show, I read a report. This is going to be one of the most highly produced WWE events we've seen in a very long time.
Well, yeah.
I full on expect the 8K camera to be out. I expect a bunch of drone footage, so on, so forth. Great for them. So maybe he, would like to retire with all that pomp and circumstance.
Sure.
But it's hard for me to wrap my brain around a guy like AJ Styles retiring outside of America.
I get it. It's been 10 years since his debut, and it's interesting that that's when he would want to call it. But again, I think it's all up to him. And I don't know. There's been reports that his contract ends in February. There's also been reports out that he would like, or WWE would like, I would say, to extend him past January past February.
Shout out to Abel. February 23rd, Atlanta, Georgia, is the Raw before Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
You just
the only thing I can go ahead.
You just said that his contract ends in February.
Yeah, and look, I'm gonna say this. I know this will probably get clipped. I know that the WWE would like to extend AJ through WrestleMania. Okay, that's been made known to me, to where they can have him appear on the card. I don't know if this has happened. Like, I don't know if it's been signed, sealed, and delivered. I don't know if AJ's made the decision. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that I don't know how we get out of this match on Saturday. Like I said, keeping both noses clean and keeping the equity in both. You have a disqualification, okay, but then you got to get to Mania, and Gunther's got to retire Styles. And what I will tell you is AJ Styles is retiring from professional wrestling in 2026. When that time and date is, I don't know. Saturday seems to be the spot. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. And I know that internally, I believe that they know in WWE and in TKO that Styles would like to work with Kenny Omega. That's not going to happen in WWE. So I think that they're going to try and prolong AEW or WWE's contract with Styles and even go into TNA as long as they possibly can to avoid having this happen.
Well, one last thing before we get into, because we're almost about 45 in, before we get into Rumble. I just wanted to real quick thoughts on last night's AEW show. We talked about it a little bit, but what did you think about the show overall? It seems like we're gonna have Brody King in a eliminator match with MJF. Tekla and Statlander put on a fantastic showing, and seems like we're gonna have Megan Bayne stepping up to be the next challenger. It seems like we also have challengers for the women's tag titles, in the Sisters of Sin. Lots going on. A lot happened last night. So what did you think about last night's Dynamite?
Listen, I liked last night's Dynamite. I thought it flowed well. For my money and my viewing experience, I liked what they did with Brody King. A lot of people I don't understand these eliminator challenges and stuff like that. This was the one time I understand in maybe the past like 3, 4, 5 months that it made a lot of sense, because Brody asked MJF for an opportunity. He said, not right now. So Brody goes to Tony Khan, and Tony says, yeah, you want to know what? I like it. You got to beat him, though. It makes a lot of sense. That made a lot of sense. The Tekla stat match was fantastic. Tekla losing doesn't hurt her at all, in my opinion. The Andrade win was a shock for me. And I know Swerve's got so much equity, and he's a main event player, and it doesn't hurt him either. But it was a shock, because I thought to myself, all right, they're keeping Andrade strong, but man, they just beat Swerve. I was shocked. So we'll have to wait and see. I like what they're doing. I thought the Kenny Omega Tony Schiavone post-match stuff was a little convoluted. I did not. I'm still trying to figure it out. It seems like we got an answer, but it was very like, wait, what did you just say? So again,
I'm confused by this whole number one contendership thing that's going to happen. It's confusing. I don't know what's going to, yeah. Because I want Kenny in the main event scene, but I also don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of want Kenny. I thought we were gonna get Wayward Son, you know. So, but if I can get elite Kenny matches like we got last week and some fun moments like we got last night, I'm okay with it. You know, Kenny's back on my television. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah. Again, thought the show was good. I really do.
Yeah. The swerve, pun intended, at the end with Andrade winning, that lets me know Tony has a lot of confidence on Andrade, and that whatever issues that happened backstage in the past, it seems like cooler heads have prevailed, and I'm glad to see, because I don't think Tony would put him in this position if he didn't have that certain trust, you know, of him. So it's good to see that. You know, he has trust in Andrade, and Andrade's got trust in him too.
Listen, at some point when you sign all these talents and then they just kind of sit around and kind of in no man's land, or they're not taking the next step, you're not doing anything different than what WWE or their previous employers did. They didn't maximize what a lot of people thought they should maximize. So Andrade winning is a shock, and it's starting to maximize whatever investment they put in him. The investment that I see is television equity. And I do like what I see from Andrade. I hope he stays at that level and on the straight and narrow, and we get a decent run from Andrade, because, again, Tony has a lot of the NXT black and gold, and even when we got out of that, talent that made that brand super successful. I mean, the list is long. So for me, if that's where they're at, that's where they're at. I like Kenny Omega in the main event scene, to your point, and I hope he stays there. I really do. I hope he stays there. I want to thank the over 500 joining us right now live. That's, you know, something
Thank you.
We appreciate. And, you know, the numbers continue to grow week after week. Over 15,000 people the past 3 weeks have digested our show. So we appreciate that and viewed it. So thank you very much. It's hard work. It's a lot of prep, but we enjoy it. So we're going to do the Rumble predictions. We have a special guest. He is part of the
very special guest. Very special guest.
I'll let Jordan introduce him. Go ahead.
This has been something that's kind of been in the back of my mind works, and you know, I'm glad that it's come to fruition and happened. So from the Russell Collective, who will be on the Russell Collective podcast with me later today, we have the one and only Mr. Hannibal Scorch joining us today to talk about the Rumble.
We cannot hear you, Hannibal.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
The perfect way to start. I've come cosplaying as Juice. I've got my hat on. I've got a WCW t-shirt on. I just don't have the accent. That's all I'm missing. But
yeah, I was gonna say it's Juice with a way better accent, so we'll take it. We will absolutely take it. Hannibal, it's good to see you. Rather than hear you, I always pop into your shows and kind of try and contribute and bring some of the people who follow me into your show. So this is a nice change of pace, and I feel like I owed you this one, because every time I pop in, you get people who are like, "Hey, can I ask Andrew a question?" So happy to have you here. We're gonna run with it. We're gonna do a Rumble predictions. You've asked me, so I'll ask you. You know, I listened to your Dynamite preview show last night, and I was on it. What did you think of Dynamite last night? Miss, hit, what?
Oh, yeah, for me, it was pretty much a hit. You know, I didn't love everything, and again, it's really funny because when people know you're an AEW fan and someone that does like a pre-show for Dynamite, they get this idea that you must love everything a company does, and I don't love everything that AEW does, but man, that main event last night, I said it on the show, like it was one of those matches I never thought I really needed to see. I hadn't thought about putting the two together, and it was magic. They really got the best out of each other, and it kind of convinced me that maybe Andrade's the guy. Maybe he is somebody who should have a main title reign at some point. So yeah, man, it was good. But you know, I mentioned it in the comments. The kind of story they're doing right now with Kenny and the other guys. Like, my understanding of it is whoever wins their match next week will face Kenny at Collision Grand Slam, and then the winner of that will then go on to face the champion, who's currently MJF. At
All
Revolution.
right, hold on a second. Walk me through this, because you're doing a better job than what I got on television, at least from Tony Schiavone. No offense, Tony. Love you. But it was I didn't know where to turn, left or right. So what is going on? Explain.
This is how I understand it. So I could be wrong. I haven't spoken to Tony Khan, so this is how I've interpreted it. But my understanding was the match last night with Kenny and Rocky was almost like a number one contendership kind of thing. But the real number one contendership.
How the hell is Rocky Romero in that?
Because he's got 2 contracts. And they wanted somebody easy to have Kenny go through.
So I'm gonna come for you. I'm gonna come for you on some things. I just got to know. I mean, Rocky Romero in a number one contenders match is wild. Go ahead.
I will say though, there was like an amazing bit in that match when Rocky did like a slide to the corner and was kind of like doing this, and you could see Kenny in the background lining
the
him
V
up
trigger to the back.
Oh my god, beautiful!
It's a great
That's what you want sometimes. That's what you want. So yeah, so my understanding from what I heard yesterday was the match will happen next week with I've forgotten who's in the match next week. Who's in
Andrade?
Andrade
and Omega next week.
No. From what I understood, Kenny is going to Grand Slam. He's in it. He's in that number
Kenny
one.
goes because Andrade has to wrestle again. That's what makes this confusing. Even though he won, he has to wrestle again.
So it's Kenny and Andrade in Vegas. The winner, from what I was told, or from what I could read, the winner of Omega and Andrade goes on to Grand Slam Australia for an AEW World Championship match. So whoever wins between Max and Brody, if Brody ends up beating Max and gets the world title shot, then that's a different story. But if MJF beats Brody, then we have MJF versus the winner of Andrade and Kenny at Grand Slam Australia. It's convoluted at best.
Where's Hangman in this? Look, again,
I shut the door and told him to get out of here. And it was at that part I was kind of like, okay. So
yeah, it's all a bit weird. And I don't know. I think sometimes they think this stuff up on the fly, and I don't know why they have to make it so complicated. I mean, my biggest complaint with WWE is the fact that when they are telling you a story, they just keep hitting you over the head. Michael Cole's telling you there's a recap package, there's a 20-minute promo segment. You're hearing the story from all different angles. With AEW, I gotta stop calling you Hannibal. What's your real name? Nick.
Do you want that out there?
It's out there.
Oh, what is it?
Nick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nick, there's a reason why WWE does that, because 9 times out of 10, and the rest, it's not 9 times out of 10. The wrestling audience is either children, especially with WWE, or they have 2 brain cells rattling around in their head. So they need to be reminded constantly.
Yeah. I get it. I understand. I just wish there was a happy medium. Neither company's doing it right. AEW's too convoluted. WWE's too on the nose. Just some middle ground would be nice.
I hear you. I thought Tommaso Ciampa debut was a home run for me. I would like to see how I want to see how he's utilized, but I mean that character, that wrestler fits AEW perfectly.
I was kind of hoping to see him in TNA. And the only reason I say that is because TNA's like crying out for stars, crying out for good talent. And I'm not knocking the people on the roster. I'm just saying it's a thin roster. They could do with having as many people on there as they can. The problem that I seem to be seeing with them is the people they are signing, it's for very short-term contracts. It's for 3 months, 6 months.
Oh, listen,
when you're somebody like
I wish the best for everybody in TNA, all the boys and girls. I want them to have prosperous fields, and I want them to do well, because we need more than we need less here in professional wrestling and sports entertainment. But I am not if I'm Tommaso Ciampa, I am not signing with TNA after I watched what I watched last Thursday. And if Tony Khan's like, what do you want? I'm gonna be like, here you go. Sign me up. I'm just, it's not even a question. If it's AEW or TNA, I'm going. Because also the thing with AEW is he can go work New Japan and he can work CMLL. So
yeah, that's it. It opens up other avenues for you. And I think he's a great talent. He was criminally underused on the main roster.
Sorry, Nick. I'm going to address this, and it's just going to be me. So hold on a second. All right, boys? Listen, John, thank you for watching the show. All right. First and foremost, I just want to let that out, and I appreciate your viewing experience. I'm going to break this down for you. I wish I had some music to go along with this because it's kind of like I got to break this down like you are a child, which I'm not saying you are. I'm saying the response is very childish. I didn't call WWE fans children. I said children watch WWE. It is a PG product. My son watches it. You are not a child for watching WWE. I watch WWE, and I enjoy it. Some things I don't. But the reason Michael Cole, Wade Barrett, Johnny Thundersticks on the announce team, they have a job to do, and they beat it over your head, which was what me and Nick Hannibal were talking about. Because kids have a memory or an attention span of a fly. Appreciate you watching. We're going to get back to the regularly scheduled shit here on No Dirt, Just Dialogue. All right? All right.
That's the conversation I love bringing. I love this energy. I love it.
This goes back to something I said yesterday publicly, which is we have a real problem right now, for whatever reason, with literacy. People not paying attention or not reading stuff properly. I don't know how we resolve it, but like I heard what you said. You didn't say people, you said children watch it because children do watch it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And WWE is a content company. They should hammer you with stuff so that you remember. I, as an almost 40-year-old man, cannot tell you what I had. Well, I have the same breakfast every morning, so let's use a different. Can't tell you what I had for lunch a week ago.
Wait. Espresso and what else?
It's espresso. It's a avocado with cayenne pepper and olive oil. It's blueberries with peanut butter, and it is a piece of sourdough toast.
Sourdough, I like that. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like even when I saw the responses to Wheezy, it's like people need disclaimers. They need like me to spell everything out for them when I post a video or when I even post something. It's crazy. Don't jump to conclusions. Listen. All right. And I also take in 64 ounces of water with 2 fresh squeezed lemon. All right. We're off the breakfast talk. Hydrate, folks. Let's get into the Rumble. It's my favorite event of the year. All right.
Yeah. Let's make one person in the chat very happy.
It's my favorite event of the year. It's something I always look forward to because of the unpredictability. It truly is any man or now woman's game. And I appreciate that. I love the Rumble since I was a child. And for me, because children watch WWE, they really don't watch AEW. Boy, I'm going to hammer that the rest of the show. But I loved when the women got the opportunity to have their Rumble and adding it to it. There's 2 Rumbles instead of 1. I enjoy that thoroughly. So I will ask, we'll start with Nick Hannibal. What is the most intriguing match? It could be the Rumble that you're looking for, that has you, wanting to watch this PLE on Saturday.
I think it is the match that has been talked about so much tonight already, which is the AJ Styles match, because I think everyone was of the kind of mindset, well, he's retiring, right? It's obvious. He's going to retire. Gunther's going to retire him. That's his new gimmick, blah, 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 blah. But the more things that have kind of like been going on, I'm not entirely convinced. As you said, AJ has said this is his final year. He will be retiring. I was told his contract was expiring later this year. Then I heard it was expiring next week. I don't know what the situation is there. I think there's a lot of red herrings being thrown about right now. But the thing is, because Gunther's whole character at the moment is, retiring people, that certainly seems to be the path that they're doing. how does
Some
he?
bald fraud told everybody that, but he's a fraud, that guy.
That guy don't know what he's talking about.
We love the ball. But yeah, I'm kind of like going, well, then how do we get out of this situation? Because you don't want Gunther to lose.
And I said that. The
Yeah.
thing is that you don't want to lose the equity you built into Gunther because he just retired not only Goldberg, but the biggest superstar in WWE history in John Cena. So you have to be very careful with what you do here in terms of how the match ends with Styles and Gunther. If Gunther is not going to win by pinfall or submission, you have to be careful because people will not care about Gunther if he loses clean. The equity is gone.
100%. And the thing is, like, I love seeing how everyone was so invested in Cena's last match. The retirement run was never, but the actual last match, people got invested. I was never a John Cena guy. By the time he came about, he wasn't my cup of tea. By that time, I was an AJ Styles guy. I was watching TNA. He was my man. So the way people got about Cena, that's how I'm kind of feeling about Saturday.
Want to see Styles retire in TNA?
I would. It would be
only to hear "Let's Get Ready to Fly," and I know he hates that theme song. But like, if we are going to close this chapter that is the wrestling career of AJ Styles, I would like for him to kind of pay a little homage, give a little, because TNA has been through the ringer. And for those who don't know, AJ Styles could have left multiple times, and yet he decided to stay. And it wasn't until his cup was full when he was like, okay, I literally have to go.
If you look up like who represents TNA since its inception and who is the poster boy for TNA, and he hasn't been there in 10 years, it's still Styles.
It's still Styles, right? So I think there's three guys that I would want to retire in TNA. AJ Styles, the other one didn't do it, and that's Christopher Daniels. And then the other one, I know he's got a better ROH run, but one of his best work has been in TNA, and that's Samoa Joe.
Yeah, Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle stuff was awesome. Samoa Joe's entire run there in TNA was awesome. I'm with
amazing.
You. But again,
Daniels, everything that he did, like those early days of TNA, the Fallen Angel, when him and AJ Styles were a tag team together. So to get back to the point, to AJ Styles retiring in TNA, it would just be storybook.
Yeah, again, I would like to see Styles retire at WrestleMania. I think this is the most intriguing match on the card and one of the most unpredictable because, again, I love the Rumbles. Both of them are unpredictable. But for me, Styles and Gunther, it's like, all right, how do you keep Gunther's equity? And how are you going to retire this man who everybody wants to see more of, truthfully? And we all know 2026 is his final year. We got to make peace with the John Cena retirement. And then some people really didn't. But, I mean, they gave John a year and a half to basically tell you guys, I'm out. And I understand he only wrestled in 2025 all the way through. But, I mean, if it was up to John, he would have wrestled 200 dates. WWE didn't want to do that. I think the killing of AJ Styles, right, they could have done more with it, though, Nick. But, again, you're 100% right. It's all about the dollars and cents. And if it don't make sense, it don't make dollars. So, at the end of the day, I would have liked to have seen more out of Cena, just like I'd like to see a little bit more out of Styles. We all know 2026 is the year. But the time and place, I think, should be a little bit more given a little bit more time. Like, give us adequate time.
Well, let's be honest a little bit for a second. AJ Styles in the past year and a half has done some pretty great. He pulled out John Cena's best match.
No question, Jordan. There's nothing else for him to do in WWE. I'm with you. He has done everything you could want to do. And he's also, in the past 12 months, really crossed off the bucket list. Cena, Nakamura, Punk. He's going to do Gunther. But for me, it's poetic that Styles is going out 10 years since his debut at the Rumble. But I would like to see this at Mania. That's my opinion. It doesn't need to happen that way. If Alan wants to go out, I'm going to call him Alan. I don't know him like that, but I'm just saying if the person wants to go out at WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble, then that's his choice. I don't think that's the last match AJ Styles has. I believe he does wrestle in TNA. I could see him calling it a career at Bound for Glory. But I mean, for me, I would really like to see Styles have one more WrestleMania match.
Is he in the Hall of Fame? The TNA Hall of Fame?
That I don't.
No. AJ?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Because they normally do that. If I remember correctly, is it Bound for Glory weekend or Summerversary weekend?
It's I think it's Bound for Glory.
So that would be perfect. That, you know, it's his last year. That event is, I think, September.
Always Bound
October
for
time.
Glory, and then people in are Sting, Angle, Jarrett, Hebner, Gail Kim, Abyss, Ken Shamrock, Awesome Kong, Raven, Tracy Brooks, Rhino, Mickey James, Team 3D, and the Beautiful People. So, and Don West and Mike Tenay. So he is not in. So that makes a lot of sense. I have been told that Styles is very open to working TNA. And again, it makes a lot of sense because I know internally that a lot of people are concerned, WWE and TKO, that AJ, that match with Kenny, he wants to have it. They are trying to make sure that that does not happen, at least in 2026. So
I'm gonna let you guys know, and we can kind of move forward, you know, after this. But
Sure.
if AJ Styles were to face Kenny Omega right now, 6 stars.
Well, the biggest thing with me with this, I could give a shit less about the stars. I think that the opportunities that AEW had, even with Punk and Danielson on the main event with an undercard of another big match or whatever, Kenny versus you name it, Kazuchika Okada could have easily sold 40, 50,000 seats with Punk and Danielson. Even when they had Cody. I mean, AEW had a chance to do a lot of things. If they get Styles and Omega in a match, I think it easily draws 20,000, 22, 25,000 easily. So, you know, I'm sure Tony's going to want AJ Styles. We'll have to wait and see. Let's take a question. I'm going to go with Gunther, Nick, and then Jordan. Who are you going with on Saturday? This really quick. Question, Drew, when do you think that ESPN Xfinity make a deal with the app? You know, it's crazy, 316 MMA. The Xfinity logo is on the damn mat. All right. And they don't have ESPN Unlimited, which is just crazy. Like, just crazy. One of our sponsorship partners doesn't have the PLE platforms. It's just nuts. I believe YouTube TV and Comcast Xfinity will have everything hammered out right before WrestleMania. And I'm going to make a bold prediction, which I did over a year ago. Or no, it was when WrestlePalooza was. So September.
Yeah.
I believe that WrestleMania Night 1 will be for free, quote unquote, on ESPN or ESPN2. And they'll make you buy Night 2. That's just me. So we'll see. Back to Gunther and AJ. Nick, and then Jordan. Who do you got?
I think AJ's winning.
Clean, or like by nefarious means does he win? Hannibal, that was to you.
He's thinking, God damn.
Yeah, it's not gonna be clean. It's not gonna be clean. There'll be some kind of shenanigan.
Okay,
You know,
because I was going to say like that. That matters.
The idea of Jericho in that one, but I was kind of shot down with like, nah, they can't do that because then it's garbage. And I was like, I'm just saying, everyone's expecting
It
it
depends. Well, if Jericho, well, it depends on the card, because if Jericho does indeed return, it's going to be during the Rumble match. If that Rumble match happens before AJ Gunther, which we don't know the match order, it could do, then I could see that happening. But I think if it's Jericho's return after 7 years, 8 years away, I don't think they're going to do it on a splodge.
I've got Gunther actually winning. I think they're going to do it. You know, they've said it. They've built up Gunther. I think they're going to do it. I just think they're going, because, and the reason why I think that, I think WWE as a whole realizes that they need to start getting younger, and so you got to start the culling, you know. So,
well, and you're not wrong, Jordan. I think the craziest thing that which was I say it's crazy because it was a complete 180 from what they were doing or what they they say on broadcast. But Michael Cole, and again, this is why listening to the announce team and listening to what they tell you through the television is important, not only for adults, but for the children watching WWE, which there's a lot of them, that demographic. Michael Cole said professional wrestling beat sports entertainment tonight. And I thought to myself, ooh, is Triple H trying to tap into that whole, this is a professional wrestling company? Is that what we're trying to do? Because if so, then, Gunther's got to continue this momentum. He has to.
Yeah. That's, there's a change is coming, as they say. And because everything that's said on WWE television is very well thought out and predicted. And so, yes, him saying professional wrestling beats sports entertainment today, that means something. So I would imagine Michael Cole says something very similar, as far as the sentiment is concerned about when because I got Gunther winning. Like I said, I got Gunther winning in a hell of a match. I think it's probably going to be the match before the men's Rumble. If you ask me, I think the women's Rumble.
Hold on. Stop right there. I wanted to say this. Jordan's ahead of the game, and we don't even speak before we jump on here. I just say, let me hear you real quick. And I say, all right, you sound good, look good. Let's roll, baby. And Jordan was trying to tell me what he's going to, and I said, stop, because he knows organic. I don't want to do it. And what's funny is you literally bled into my point, which what I was going to say is match placement on this Rumble, like it is for every show, but is very important. If the Gunther Styles match is before the men's Rumble, which I would believe it is, wouldn't shock me if Gunther's in the Rumble, whether he wins or loses.
So I got it. See, match placement is important, but I've got it going right before the men's Rumble. I got the women's Rumble opening the show. But yeah, I think right before the men's Rumble, we're gonna see like I said, we're gonna see Gunther win, beat Styles clean. My mic just messed up.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next. Now. Yeah, let's go.
There we go.
Let's go to one that a lot of people are talking about because they believe it's the time and the place to pull the trigger on Sami Zayn winning the WWE Undisputed Championship. I will say that Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre is a good match, especially for Saudi Arabia and especially for the fans in general. A lot of people have been wanting this match. They want Sami in a world title match. They had it in Montreal with Roman Reigns at Chamber many years ago or 2 years ago, whatever it was. So for me, I don't hate this match. What I will say is I think this is the beginning, not the end of Sami's world championship or universal championship aspirations and story. This is where everything kicks off. He is going to lose to Drew McIntyre in Saudi Arabia. He's going to come back the next year at WrestleMania and finally win it. That's where I think this all goes to. I think Sami wins next year's Royal Rumble and goes after whatever champion that may be heading into the Saudi WrestleMania.
Oof.
So Drew McIntyre wins on Saturday. There you go.
I got only because last week, on No Dirt,
me and you got into it a little bit.
Yeah, you eloquently explained how they do, you got to have the loss before the big win, right? And I get that, right? Because it's going to garner some emotion. I may not agree with it, but I understand it. And the more I think about it, the more I've looked at Sami and the story over the past couple of weeks. Yeah, no, Sami's losing, brother. They're about to make people cry. They're going to make someone in that arena cry. And that is going to be the point.
The redemption, they got to tell a story. It was told very fast to us the past 3 weeks. And I know Sami hasn't been there, and we've been telling this story for a while because everybody, the Intercontinental Championship, and he hasn't won the big one. And then he wins that one, all this other stuff. But that's just not how WWE operates. And I understand that it might be a good idea to pull the trigger right now because this vocal minority thinks it's a good idea. But at the end of the day, the story arc from this is going to be nuts. He was right there in Saudi Arabia. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If he wins, cool. That's a great moment. If he wins on Saturday, great. But the story's right there. He loses in Saudi, goes all the way back, wins the Rumble, and now he's got a second chance in Saudi Arabia. And he finally does it. And that place will come absolutely unglued. And it gives the fans in the audience, like my child and some other people, because children watch WWE, a chance to really invest in the redemption of Sami Zayn. Nick.
Yeah, I disagree with you guys. We had this upset already. It was Elimination Chamber 2023. Montreal, hometown. He made me believe. Even though I knew it wasn't going to happen because Cody was trying to tell his story, they got me convinced it could be Sammy's time. So I don't think every time you kind of give the false hope, the first time makes you more excited for the second time. When it doesn't happen the second time, I think you start to lose momentum. I think they need to pull the trigger now. And the other thing as well, and I hate to say it as blatantly as this, but if you remember when they first started going to Saudi, Syria did not have a good relationship with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Right. Sammy wasn't allowed to go for the first few years. That obviously they found peace with each other, which is great, but who knows what can happen in the next few years. So I think you strike while the iron's hot. You've already teased us with this once. He's not getting any younger.
Yeah.
I think now's a good time. And the thing is, I know a lot of people don't think he's the guy and he should be the champion, but we have got, Elimination Chamber coming up. Mm-hmm. We don't need to have a long title reign. He deserves more than a Kane title reign. Do you know what I mean? I'm not expecting to lose it on Raw. But, what if Sammy just has it for a month and you either put it back on Drew and carry on what the main plan was, or you pass it to someone else to set up another big match at WrestleMania. I don't think Sammy... I think it would be a benefit for Sammy to win now. I don't think Sammy's walking into WrestleMania as champion if he does win.
Yeah, I get it. I just, I don't listen, if Sammy wins, I'd be thrilled. It'd be a great moment. And to your point, you don't know what you're going to have next year because somebody could get hurt, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. If you have Sami Zayn win, I don't know what he does at WrestleMania. Like if we're hot potatoing the title, where does your former world champion go to WrestleMania? Like is he holding the championship? Are we going to get invested into a Sami Zayn Cody Rhodes match? I don't know. And the reason they'll have 2 months to tell the story, 2 to 3 months. The reason I think that they're going to pull the trigger in Saudi Arabia next year is because I believe that there are 2 mega matches that are going to happen. And realistically, anybody not in those matches are going to just fall by the wayside anyway. Truthfully.
True.
So we'll see. I'm going with Drew. Jordan's going with...
I'm going with Drew.
And Nick Hannibal went with
Sammy. I'm the lone wolf. I was
going
to
do there you go. All right. Let's talk about the Women's Royal Rumble. We've done the 2 singles matches. Talk about the Women's Royal Rumble. I believe there's a good amount of surprises in this. I don't expect something off the wall crazy. I don't expect like a Beth Phoenix return or something nuts. I don't expect Britt Baker or anything else that you guys want to talk about in the chat. But I will say this, and I want to thank the chat for being so active, whether it's positive or negative. This is for fun. We enjoy doing it. And
we love it. We love
again,
it.
The child comment, I came for you because it's fun. It's a bit now. Continue to hammer it. There's no like real animosity. I get it. I'm going to say this because I believe this is what we're going to see on Saturday. I believe it's a 2-horse race for the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, I would love to see Rhea. I really would, because I think Rhea is the biggest women's star WWE has. She might even be bigger than some of the male stars, truthfully, that they have. She's definitely bigger than, I would say, 90% of the male roster, but there's a couple guys on Raw and SmackDown that I would put ahead of her right now. But I'm going to go away from Rhea because I don't believe she needs this quote-unquote rub or this Rumble win. I'm going to go with either Liv Morgan or Bianca Belair because Bianca and Jade at WrestleMania makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense for me. We'll go to Jordan and then Nick. Go ahead, Jordan.
Walk with me, fellas. Okay. We're in the Women's Rumble. We're at we'll say number 21, right? We hear a new music, new look, and we see a completely new and different Bianca Belair, who comes in roughshod, eliminates maybe like 2 people back to back, has a good showing, fights on from the 21 spot to win the Royal Rumble. I have Bianca Belair returning and winning in the Royal Rumble. One, they love her in Saudi. They love her. She's been showcased many times in Saudi before. They love her out there. This is a great time for her to come back. If I could, I would. But I got Bianca coming back, but she needs.
There's a joke there, but I can't say it on air. Go ahead.
she needs shout out Bruce Pritchard. She needs a fresh coat of paint. I would like to see a new hair. Like I love the ponytail. Let's get rid of it. I love the lips. Let's get rid of it. Let's do something different. We've had this same model for a long time.
She's got to come back with an edge. There's no doubt about it. No pun intended. She's got to come back with a little bit of
an edge. I would like to see her show that attitude that I know that she has. Again, I'm no wrestler. I haven't taken a bump in my life, but you can believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Bianca Belair.
I like it. I'm going to go to, there's a question here. The streets are saying Paige, right? I'm making sure that I got that right from the producer. Yeah. They're saying that that Paige is here. Can you put that on the screen? Thank you. Streets are saying Paige here at the Rumble.
Paige here.
I could see it. I don't, it would be a nice Rumble pop for sure. I know a lot of people were like, oh my God, Nikki Bella's on the plane. Bro, where you been? Like what? Nikki's been on television. Like, what are we talking about here?
Ree would be the surprise, not Nikki.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Bingo. Nick, your Women's Royal Rumble. And then I have a live update, I've been told, from the Royal Rumble, where we have an aerial view of the arena and the stage completed with lights and everything. So go ahead, Nick.
All right. I think Jordan Grace. I think she's been underrepresented. I don't think she's had a great main roster run so far, and I think they need to pull the trigger on her.
I wouldn't hate that at all, man. I wouldn't hate that. Jordan Grace makes a lot of sense too. I just think, again, it's either Liv or Bianca. I'd love to see Jordan. That's a hell of a push.
Bianca would be great, but I don't know her status. I know she had that injury. I know she's been away for quite a while. You would hope she'd be back soon.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's going to be cleared in time. Yeah. I would love Bianca to win.
Yeah. All right, we have it. All right, bring it up. That is Saudi Arabia live, it seems, and that is your Royal Rumble. Kind of looks like their own little, which we all knew was going to happen, but that's kind of like their own little like Royal Rumble like event, like their own like planned like kind of like I don't know, like city. They have it looks like there's a couple things there attraction wise in terms of like some WWE memorabilia. It looks like there's an Undertaker thing, an LA Knight thing, a Roman Reigns thing. But I mean, listen, I'm not going to get into the political ramifications of this or how this got built, because I don't know anything about
it. We don't know.
Right. And it's insane how quickly this got up. And I'm sure some things were not done on the up and up like we would here in the United States. But that's the live view of Saudi Arabia. So let's thank you for bringing that up and showing that. I'm sure the crowd's going to be nuts. They really have gone completely different from the greatest Royal Rumble. The first time I was like, man, this place is quiet, to now they are loud and they are into it. So we'll have to wait and see. Nick, you had something to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I don't think anyone's explained yet why they built it.
That's a really good question. Yeah, I put out a tweet which a lot of people were back and forth and interpreting however they want. Basically, I was saying like this It's crazy how fast this went up, and gee, I wonder how that happened. And I left that door open for everyone to interpret. And next time I'll put parentheses and say I'm not for not paying proper wages and crazy hours, right? But I don't know that either. It's a good question. Is this a test run for them to do a giant one for WrestleMania? Like I don't know because they have facilities, they have arenas. Somebody said that they were already utilized, and I was like, I don't think so. But I don't know. Maybe they are. It's just.
But do you know what the cheapest ticket was or is for WrestleMania?
I put that out.
Royal Rumble.
I put it out. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I can find the cheap. But it was cheap.
It was like $21.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. You couldn't even buy a parking pass for that event in the States here.
That wouldn't even get you a burger.
Doesn't even get you a T-shirt, bro. Not even a T-shirt. Let's talk about the men's Royal Rumble. I know Jordan's pick, so let's just start with him.
Let's just get it over with. Let's just get it over with. Yes, sir. I've been pushing this agenda for the past month. Brock Lesnar will be your men's Royal Rumble winner, and I will explain why. One, Drew McIntyre is kind of a tweener, so he has that opportunity there. Also, or if he wants to go after CM Punk, there's history there with those two gentlemen. Two, another one. He was one of the very first kind of boots or people, shown in the Las Vegas WrestleMania ad, as well as Saudi loves Brock Lesnar. They love the mythos, the man that is Brock Lesnar. And he also is a man who is not long for the world of wrestling and much longer. Brock Lesnar is in his 40s, I want to say. There's a speculation that he's retiring rather soon in the next 6 months, I want to say.
SummerSlam, yeah.
So SummerSlam. So that being said, it just the planets are lining up for Brock to have one last title run, whether that be a 2-month, 3-month run, but it just makes or not even maybe a run, but a challenge, because Brock's person, I think, will do business. He just wants the payday, and if the money's right, and the payday and the money will be right if you put him in the main event of another WrestleMania, challenging one more time with Cowboy Brock. It just makes sense to me. Like, I know it started out as a troll, but like the more and more I think about it, no, he is legitimately one person that you could book to win this Rumble and serve all your masters, right? Because if Finn Balor wins, why? If Cody Rhodes wins again,
not even in it.
Finn Balor's not. Well, I think he will be. I think there's a reason why they said Finn Balor, the Rumble's full. I think there was a reason why. If you look at everybody else who could potentially win it, yes, there's a reason, and there's an avenue for them to that title. Brock just has a stronger case.
So this isn't a bit. I've let this go on for a while. This is legit. This is what you think. All right, man. Listen, I don't hate it.
As much as I don't want it to happen, I think it will happen, because
this would make Brock Lesnar the second 3-time Royal Rumble winner, only next to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Only next to Stone Cold, yeah. That was a trivia question from the game show we're putting on later tonight. But no, it would make him one. And I think there's a reason. Yeah, you want to give Brock. You want to give Brock something historic for what he did for the business. He's not going to have the most title reigns. He's not going to have the longest title reign. Let's give him a cool stat like this.
Do you think that WWE and TKO have squeezed every red hot nickel that they possibly could have out of Brock Lesnar? Because albeit I understand the return at SummerSlam and what they did with that afterwards, but do you believe that they've done? I mean, I don't know what else they can get out of Brock Lesnar.
You know, when you're wringing out a towel, and you're like, I got one more ring out. This is it. This is that last, all right, we're gonna get the last little bit.
No opinion is wrong. They're stupid. They're not wrong. I'm educated,
maybe.
No, listen, I could. if you're going to pull the trigger on a Lesnar Rumble win, this is the time and this is the place because the Saudi Arabian crowd's not going to boo it. Okay. So to your point, Jordan, I could see it. What I will say is that Minneapolis SummerSlam makes a lot of sense for him to retire if SummerSlam takes place in Minneapolis. If this stuff out here, which is terrible, doesn't get cleared up soon, I don't know if SummerSlam is going to be here. And I say that with all sincerity. And I don't want to scare people in Minneapolis or Minnesota, but I'm not quite sure they're going to bring that major event here with everything going on here because it would be tone deaf. And I want SummerSlam to be here, but I just don't know if that's what's going to happen.
I did see a report that the ice is thawing at the moment. So
all right. So then there you go. But listen, I don't hate the thought of Lesnar winning the Rumble. I think that they've done everything and they've gotten everything out of Brock Lesnar, and Brock can have a big match with Gunther at SummerSlam and he can retire his ass too. And they can still build Brock up. Nick Hannibal, I will go to you and then I will go myself to give my prediction. Go ahead, Nick.
It's the road to WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
And there's only one road that I see. That's Cody.
Oh, a 3-time Rumble himself. Interesting.
Another. See, I don't. You got to walk me down with that one.
Hang on. You got to remember that I'm trying to predict here with my head, not my heart. I'm not saying this is what I want to see. I'm just saying this is what I think we'll see. If you look at the title picture,
explain. Let me hear this. I want to hear this.
Well, what makes money? Cody versus Punk. That could be a big money match. People will be wanting to see that. Cody and Drew got history. People would want to see that. So, and that's just how it stands at the moment. Now, let's just go back to my other crazy theory. Sami Zayn wins. Sami Zayn's champion. Well, Cody took his best mate out. Not necessarily on purpose, but you could use that for a storyline purpose. So, there's a few avenues here that you could make it happen. And look, let's be honest. What WWE love to do, and this isn't me knocking them, I know everyone thinks I'm just negative about them, and I'm really not, but what they love to do is, not rewrite history, but they don't like to rewrite history, but they like to kind of clear things up. Sure. And Cody is somebody you would want to see in the record books. Stone Cold is. I don't think they really want Brock to be in the same list as those two when it all comes down to it. And Brock, this is Brock's last shot. I don't think Brock has another Royal Rumble win. So I think it's Cody.
To your point, I believe there's I'm gonna name them, and I probably will miss some, but it's 2-time Rumble winners: Cody, HBK, Austin's 3, Randy, Batista, yeah, Cena. So I mean, Lesnar, obviously, we said that.
Yeah.
What?
No.
Yeah, Lesnar.
I said Hogan. Oh, Hogan. No.
Hogan is a 2-time Rumble winner. You're right. So if you really wanted to propel, Cody into the stratosphere, I don't think he needs it, but I get it. And Cody, I think the reason they switched the title from Cody to Drew is because Cody felt it would be better for him this WrestleMania season to chase. He did it last WrestleMania season, but he's doing it again. Well, he was the champion last WrestleMania. I apologize. So this would be the second time he's chased for the championship at WrestleMania because he chased for it at 39 in LA. And then, he chased for it again at 40. So this would be the third time. So very interesting play by him. And the fans do respect it.
Very kind. Cody's very kind because last year he could have done it 3 on the bounce. And he went, you know what? I think an Uso should win. He's a kind guy.
Yeah.
I think
I will tell you that the Uso winning was a shock. And I was at the Cosm. If you guys have not been, and girls watching this, go to the Cosm. It is a fantastic venue to watch the Rumble, Chamber, or a Mania. The Rumble was so awesome because they had a camera on the entrance ramp, and then they had a camera ringside, and it was on top of the ring post. It was just an awesome experience. And there's food and alcohol. So if that's what you partake in, it was a good time. I don't hate it, Nick. I don't hate it at all. I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns and CM Punk is a match that a lot of people would like to see. you know, I know Heyman's no longer attached to either of them, but you know, Roman Reigns has not won that World Heavyweight Championship in WWE. I know he held the Undisputed and the other championship, the blue and red, Infinity Stones or Power Ranger titles,
Universal Championship.
yeah, whatever the hell they're calling them. But I think Punk and Roman for the World Heavyweight Championship, and I think that they could surround their television. It could all circle around, you know, which any good weekly episodic television series does. Who is the Rumble winner going to choose, or who is this person going to go after? And I think they could use that for 3 to 4 weeks with Roman. They could drag this out to Chamber, truthfully. And then they can make an announcement. Roman makes an announcement on Chamber who he's fighting.
So that's probably the most logical and reasonable pick. And I so get ready to clip this, because I said, is last week something I said, is that a scoop or a prediction? And
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those situations where, you know, and I joke, because Nick, I'll tell you, personal phone call I had with Andrew a while back. I was like, you know, I was looking through some bookmarks, and man, you're very Nostradamus when it comes to a lot of this stuff. You kind of see the trends and see where things are going very well. And so I listen to Andrew, and I think everybody here should. Everybody watching, make sure like, subscribe, but please listen to Andrew. He talks, and you got to listen, because he's more than likely right. He's, you know, rarely wrong, often early.
I appreciate that.
If you're saying, well, because I'm thinking about it, because it's a scale, right? Because he, you know, Hannibal has got one that's all the way over here. I've got mine who's very on the extreme with Brock Lesnar. So I kind of tend to go with the more lukewarm, the more safe, more middling, and that's Roman Reigns. And because that way Roman Reigns makes everybody happy. You don't piss anybody off. It tells the right story. It makes everybody happy. Now, if you want to piss some people off, you want to, you know what I'm saying? You can go with either our picks, but I think, yeah, no, Roman is a great pick, because especially going after Punk, because there's so much history.
If I was going to pick 3 people that I think you could kind of bet, and I appreciate the kind words, that you can kind of bet your money on for the Rumble, it's Breaker, it's Cody, and it's Roman. Those are the 3 guys. Lesnar doesn't fall in this. I'm sorry, Jordan. I love you, but it just doesn't.
No, I get it.
And
I get it.
I think Cody ends up winning the Chamber in Chicago. I think that's where we head. And if he wins the Rumble on Saturday, sweet. But if he doesn't win on Saturday, I think the time and the place is the Chamber for Cody, and then he can go after whoever is the world or the WWE champion at the time, Drew or whomever. Again, I think it's an interesting situation, because realistically, there's a lot of money in Cody and Punk too. You know, if Cody wants to go that way, I think there's big money in that. I think Roman's kind of in this stratosphere where it's like, who does he take on at WrestleMania? And I think the original plan, which I could just say right now, I believe it was Roman versus Seth Rollins. And that seems to be scrapped, because I don't know if Seth's showing up tomorrow or Saturday, but you know, I don't know if he's cleared. So I don't know if they could put all their eggs in that basket. So we'll have to wait and see. But again, Jordan, I appreciate it. I just, the Lesnar thing is an off the wall one, but I like it. The Cody one by Nick is very smart and very safe, and I like that too. And so is my pick, Roman, Breaker, and Cody as my 3 picks, and Roman being the one. It's a safe pick. They need to do something with Roman. What that is, I don't know yet. But Cody winning the Rumble, we've already had that. You know, we haven't had the tribal chief ever win the Rumble and then have to decide who he's going after. He's won Rumbles, I believe, but he wasn't the tribal chief. So I think this is good weekly episodic television as we get towards WrestleMania.
What number do you have Roman winning from? Like, do we get like a showcase of him? Does he do some eliminations, or does he come in at number 30? And
no, let's say within the first 17 entrants.
Okay, so a little bit more than halfway, a little over halfway through. So yeah, okay.
Let's do it. And I'll give you some surprise entrants that I think are going to happen, and you guys can give as well.
Yeah,
and then
I would love to. I was going to ask that.
Take some questions and get out of here. Powerhouse Hobbs, Royce Keys, I think is in the Royal Rumble.
100%. 100%.
I'm trying to think of somebody else who would be shocking here. I think Punk could be in the Rumble. Even though he's the world heavyweight champion, I think Punk could be in the Rumble.
Well, it goes with his gimmick of being a fighting champion right now, and so who better to call call your shot than yourself, So, hey, I won, let's say crazy world, he wins the Rumble. He picks his opponent, that'd be kind of, sure. I could see that.
I'm going to go with Chad Gable, too. I think Chad Gable returns.
As Chad Gable, you're saying?
Or you could kind of do the Grande Americano gimmick where they're kind of pointing at each other.
Yeah. So we do the Spider-Man meme?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, the obvious one is Chris Jericho, but it's obvious because that's what everyone wants. But what do you guys think? What do you think?
Nick, I'll go with you.
I think you could have Chad Gable go out there, get eliminated, come out as El Grande Americano, the old Mick Foley. I think we will see one of, if not both of, Mike Santana and Leon Slater.
Yeah, we'll see them for sure.
You will see some TNA influx, definitely.
I'm gonna go with a person who, and I'll say that I'm gonna be saying this later on Collective, who's a dark horse to win it and a surprise entrance, who's not really a surprise. Seth Rollins.
I'll say Mr. Iguana. Seth Rollins works too. Nick, any other ones?
No, not from the men's side. I'm trying to think on the women's side. I think AJ Lee is almost guaranteed. I could see.
I think Trish. AJ comes back, and I think she dumps Becky, and that's how you get that feud off and running.
Yeah,
AJ Lee, Michelle McCool will probably be dusted off.
Keebler. Haven't seen Keebler for a while. Stacy Keebler.
With the Attitude Era game, that edition of the game, I could see them pushing something like that. Yeah, that's a good one. She's in great shape too, as always. So
she's been staying away from WWE, and she doesn't need any money. So I don't know.
Definitely don't. Yeah. I mean, then Molly Holly, they've dusted her off before. It sounds crazy. But because only I'm just gonna I got probably one of the Steiners, either because of Braun, whatnot. It would be kind of a funny, they love to pull out a legend every now and then. They love to do that for the Rumble. So I don't know how good their knees are. You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna get the ghost of Yokozuna.
every year they ask for him, and every year they're disappointed. Shame.
But I got another surprise. Maybe one of the Steiners, or both of them as a tandem. That'd be kind of cool to see a moment. Because come on, you have to give Braun a moment with his father and his uncle. Like, come on, that's eventually got to happen.
It's the Royal Rumble. He's gonna dump his dad.
Yeah. I have to solidify
he is the
that
heel, so it works.
Yeah. Like, I'm a heel, love you, pops, but you gotta go.
Actually, I just thought they just signed. Was it a power lifter in Saudi Arabia?
Oh yeah, Veer's coming. Yeah.
No, but I think the Royal Rumble is the kind of event you can throw someone out there. Just have them hit a few slams and get tossed out.
There you go. WrestleVotes is now reporting the same thing that I just said at the beginning of this show, which was almost 2 hours ago. So if you forgot, I don't blame you. Is that the women will have the same parameters they have in terms of dress that they've had for every Saudi Arabia event. So there you go. Yeah. All right. This was fun. I appreciate Hannibal and Nick for joining us. I appreciate Jordan as always. Jordan, do you want to tell everybody where they can subscribe, and follow you, and see you later on today with Nick? Go ahead.
Yes. So please, you can find me on Twitter at @slick_flair91. You can find the Wrestle Collective, which we are a part of. The Wrestle Collective, that's Dub C Worldwide. And you can like and subscribe us at the Wrestle Collective YouTube channel, where later today we're doing the first ever rendition of the Collective 3 Count, which is going to be a game show presented by myself. Mr. Nick Hannibal Scorch will be on as a contestant, as he is also one of my co-hosts of that show. So please, 6 p.m. Eastern, we will be live. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit of Rumble, get everybody else's Rumble predictions, but the Collective 3 Count, our very first time game show. So definitely make sure to pull up and watch and enjoy.
Yeah, I would smoke that trivia because the Rumble's my favorite event. So I'm just
I've got
a lot of people say that with these kind of things, and
All right, give me a question. Let me see if I can get it. Give me one question.
Because I've got so many. Because I'll give you one that's not going to be on the show.
A good question then.
Who was the first WWE champion to lose their title under 24 hours?
What? That's a Royal Rumble question?
No, it's just. Oh, you want a Rumble question?
Yeah,
that's Kane anyway.
No, it's not. It's Andre the Giant. Yeah, everybody thinks it's Kane. Yeah. yeah. I got some deep ones, brother. I
need a Rumble one. I need a Rumble one.
But see, the Rumble ones I had to particularly curate, because the Rumble one that I got is the 2 Rumble questions that I got are really, really good ones, because there's easy ones like, who has the most eliminations? Everybody knows that. Kane. That's an easy one. Who has lasted the longest?
Gunther.
Hang on, didn't Braun Strowman break Kane's record recently?
Gunther. Like, you're talking about in a match?
In the Rumble. Who lasted the longest?
It's Gunther.
Rey Mysterio.
No.
I'm pretty sure. No? Gunther broke his record?
Uh-huh.
He did. Because last year, what was the longest Rumble? Yes, he did.
All right. Yeah, good thing
this did a great game show.
No, trust me. The Hannibal, the questions I got lined up, trust me.
Jordan does a good job. I know that's Gunther because WWE hammered that into my brain.
Yes, I remember that.
Children and adults watch the WWE. So, Hannibal, Nick, where can people like, subscribe, and follow you? Go ahead.
Yeah, they can find me at Juicy Steen on Twitter. Oh no, hang on. That's just who I'm playing today. I am the Nick Soap Dish on Twitter. NICSOAPDISH. Hannibal Scorch.
Somebody put his at in the chat, and I will get it up. The producers will get it up. I want to thank the over 600 people who are viewing this live. I want to thank Nick. I want to thank Jordan. I want to thank, again, I said this at the top of the show, but I want to thank the over 15,000 who have seen us the past 3 weeks. I appreciate that very much. We look forward to doing this all the time, every Thursday. Normally 3 p.m. Eastern, sometimes a little bit later, but I'm happy you guys and girls are enjoying this. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to Final Bell Media. Hit the bell for notifications so that when we go live, you will know and you won't miss an episode. Make sure you subscribe and follow the Wrestle Collective. They do good work. They're friends of mine. And make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow, again, Final Bell Media. I'm at Andrew Badala. That is Jordan. That is Nick. Did somebody put Nick's handle so we could put it up here? No,
it should be in there.
I don't see it.
If you type in Hannibal Scorch, you'll find him.
All right. Let me see if I can find it. I'll put it in there for Christmas' sake. It is.
Andrew, I just want to.
Dish.
I want to thank you as well, because we've interacted a lot recently over the last year. And it's always a delight when you come into my space, and I appreciate you letting me into your house tonight. So thank you so much. It's been a real treat.
For sure, man. The seat is not welcomed by many, but you are always welcome, from my opinion. So
thank you.
I appreciate it. We had a good show. This is one of the longer ones that we've done, but the Royal Rumble is a long event, so might as well get in. And we had good conversation. I always love that. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you for taking time out of your day. I said last week that Tommaso Ciampa would be all elite. He is. So producers, cue it. I know your friend has a longer version of that, and I've never seen it before until yesterday, and it was good. So thank you. I believe it's wraps. Yeah.
Yeah,
so thank you.
yeah. I can get it. I can get it to you.
All right, appreciate that. All right, everybody. We appreciate it. We'll catch you all down the road. Enjoy the Rumble. Enjoy Collision. Enjoy your families and enjoy your life.
I'm definitely gonna enjoy.
See
me and Grumpy on television on Saturday, y'all.
There you go. Professional wrestling is escape from reality, not reality. Enjoy yourselves.